tremendous, lethal, volatile, earth-shattering sports talk will commence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. This is the Doug Stewart Show coming to you live. Live, very live. Yes, very, very live. October 9th, 2014. And thank you for joining your folk. Once again, it's on. Once again, it is on. Thank you so much for joining your folk. Yeah, and it is a Throwback Thursday, and we're getting into a lot of stuff today. A ton of stuff. Not a lot of big stories going on in the world of sports, but we're going to touch upon a lot of things. We're going to have a lot of fun with this Dougie Daily question and talk about some little TV shows and do the damn thing. That's right. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You can hit me up at 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. If you're a company out there, as a matter of fact, especially if you're a company out there that wants to partner up with us and do big things, because we are doing big things around here, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes. And how you doing, man? It's Thursday. Thursday is better than Wednesday. Hump day is Wednesday, but Thursday is like you almost home. And you are almost home. And thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so last night, I get a call. Well, actually, it was a text from our producer, Tree. And she tells me to turn on the TV to FX and watch this TV show called American Horror Stories. I believe that's the name of it, AHS. And so I turn it on, and it's like some kind of horror type thingy where it's scary and there's blood and gory, and it actually said that there was nudity on there as well. That kind of interested me. And so she says, watch this story, this TV show, like this is the hottest TV show going on right now. So I jump on the TV and I'm watching for a couple of minutes and doing a little bit of research on it. I'm on the computer at the same time. And this show is like trending. And so I'm like, this show evidently has like a huge following. And I watched the show, and I may have said this before, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I may have said this before. I'm not a horror guy. I'm not a guy that watches horror movies, likes to get scared. Like if I spend my money, the last thing I want to do is get scared. That's always been my philosophy. So this show is kind of like a horror thingy, and it's got all these different plots going on. And from what I understand later, Tree says that this show is kind of like tied into Stephen King and The Clown and Amityville Horror and The Shining and The Omen and all those type of shows, which I have never seen one of those, okay? I've never seen one of those shows before in my life. And so it didn't make sense to me. Now, I will say this about the damn clown. And I guess the clown thing has something to do with one of the Stephen King movies or whatever back in the day. The clown on this TV show last night was scary as ish. And I don't know if you're like me, where I think there's even a name for it. If you have a fear of clowns, that's me. And I think my fear of clowns goes all the way back to a movie that they used to show, like a C-rated or a C-classified movie called Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That movie was horrible. And the clowns in that movie were scary as hell. But anyway, so I watched the show last night, and the show was pretty decent. It was put together very well. I'm not a horror fan, once again, but the show was put together pretty well. And so it started me thinking. And also last night, Blackish came on. I think the third episode of Blackish. And that's another TV show that is put together very, very well. And I know if you didn't like Blackish from the beginning, and it stars Lawrence Fishburne, Tommy, I can't even remember the dude's last name, Tracy Ellis Ross, and they had a cast and they got kids, and I guess they're trying to be like the modern day Cosby Show, and it's very intriguing, some interesting storylines. If you didn't give it a chance, if you said you didn't like the first couple of episodes, I think it's probably grown on you, because the writing in that TV show is fantastic. But the point of the story in telling you about these shows that a lot of people either like or they don't like is sometimes you got to give things a chance. And there's a lot of underrated TV shows out there in our world today because of cable, because of so many more options. I mean, think about it. When we were growing up, and I'm talking about people my age, when we were growing up, you had limited choices, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You had ABC, you had CBS, and you had NBC. That's pretty much all you had, and you had to roll with it, okay? Until cable took over in the mid-'80s, at least for where I'm from. I'm from the country, so maybe we got it later than everybody else, but everybody pretty much had the ability to have cable like in the mid-'80s. But now you got so many different options. You got like a million options. You got specific channels for whatever you like, whatever tickles your fancy. If you're a Western guy, they got a Western station. If you like cooking, they got a cooking station. If you like to follow those court cases, we talked about it a lot yesterday, they got a court TV channel. You know, they got everything. They got a horror channel. They got a sci-fi channel. They got a million options out there. And you never, ever can see all of the TV that you probably would like because you just don't have enough hours in the day, and you hooked on certain things, so you won't get other things a chance. So then you got on demand. So it's just a different day and time in TV and programming. So the Dougie Daily question I'm gonna throw out there, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The Dougie Daily question I'm gonna throw out there is: give me a TV show, past or present, that's underrated. Yes, give me a TV show that's past or present underrated. And I got one. I'm going to start the ball rolling with one that I know 95% of the population hadn't watched or hadn't paid attention to. And it's called Luther, okay? And it stars my boy Idris Elba. And basically he's like crime drama type. It's a crime drama type show, and the dude plays like psychological investigator type thing. But here's the thing: it's on the BBC. It's on BBC America. So you're gonna have to watch it on BBC, which most people aren't. It's the British channel. Most people aren't even tuned in the fact that there's a British channel. Okay, and so yeah, you can go on demand and watch this show. So that's a show that I think is very good, very well done. I've said it before. I said it a couple weeks ago, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I said it a couple weeks ago that Idris Elba is a great actor. And so he's got his own TV series. I don't know if it's still running. I haven't really watched it like loyal, like religiously to the point where I've seen every episode. I'm not going to say that. But the show is very good. Dude is a very good actor. It's very well written. And the thing that freaks me out about the show is, dude is from, he's from England, I believe. And so his accent is like, it's crazy when you hear him talk in his native tongue, in his native accent. Yes, because you're used to seeing him on movies here, and you're used to seeing him on The Wire. And it's just freaky when you hear a guy that's been acting, and speaking like an American, and he goes back to his original, dialect and his mannerisms and the way that he speaks. It's kind of freaky to see Idris Elba talk like a British dude. Yes. So that's a little fun we're going to have today on the Doug Stewart Show, your Dougie Daily. Give me an underrated, a hidden TV gem, past or present. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. What do you think about Blackish? Okay, has it grown on you? As well as, what do you think about, if you're one of the people, because evidently this American Horror Story thing has got like a cult following. It was trending last night. It was like one of the top trending topics in America. Okay, so I didn't know. Okay, I was lost upon the whole thing. But do you follow that show? Are you into it? Did you like it? Do you like it? Have you been one of the people that have been following it from beginning till now? Because evidently it's been on for a couple of years, or at least one season prior to this year. So it has a huge following, kind of like cult-like-ish. I'm not going to say a cult classic or whatever, but damn near on the fringe of a cult classic. It has a huge following. And the best way I can describe this show is it's kind of like Tales from the Cryptish. Yes, a little bit less Twilight Zone-ish. You get what I'm saying? So that's what the show is all about. And from what I understand, it has a huge following. So I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Give me a call at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. And also we're on Spreaker.com. Obviously, the show is on Spreaker.com, The Doug Stewart Show. You can hit me up on there on the chat, as well as go to thedugstewartshow.com and download the show and do all of that stuff and pass the word. I mean, yesterday we had the Milestone Show where over 10,000 listens on the show, so we are doing it real big around here. And this is what the show is all about. I'm going to keep it real with you. When there's not a lot of sports stuff to talk about, we're going to talk about pop culture. We're going to talk about, just like we did on the Stews, we're going to talk about pop culture and hip-hop culture and entertainment. Whatever you want to talk about, it's your show. It is your show. And that's the realest thing I can tell you on this Thursday, is that it's your show. It's absolutely your show. So if there's not a bunch of big sports stories going on, we'll talk more entertainment, more whatever you want to talk about. Whatever's in the news, we'll talk about it, okay? So hit me up at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. There's some little nuggets out there in the world of sports. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at the NFL owners' meetings. Not a lot of big news. Some of the stuff they've been talking about, you probably heard about it a little bit. So we'll delve into that a little bit, just a little bit, and we'll give you the update on Adrian Peterson and what's going on with his upcoming trial for child abuse. All right? So don't go anywhere. Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. Texas Pete Hot Sauce. What's an underrated TV show? That's what we're talking about today. Having fun, talking sports. It's the Doug Stewart Show. This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on thedugstewartshow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes!
The personal ass kicker of Skip Bayless, Doug Stewart.
That's right. Used to kick Skip's ass all the time. Probably too much. That's why they stopped inviting us up there, but you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. This segment of the show is brought to you by FanDuel, one-day fantasy sports for as low as $1. Go to my webpage, DougStewartShow.com, and get up on that FanDuel. All right, we talking a little bit of sports. We have a little bit of fun, talking about some underrated TV shows, and I talked about American Horror. The American Horror Show, I believe it is, AHS. That was the trending that you had last night on Twitter. And it's like this horror type, Tales of the Crypt type, Twilight Zone type crazy ass show that the Tree of Life put me on last night. It was pretty decent, and I'm not even into that type of thing. So we're talking about underrated TV shows. Blackish had his 3rd episode last night. I mentioned Luther on the BBC channel starring Idris Elba. Here's some chat from my man Loso. He says, Blackish is the ish. I agree. Very good show. I think that show has staying power. You know, a lot of shows come out, and when they're supposed to get re-upped, you know, you don't see it again. You see like the first 5 episodes, and that's it. Like Blackish is on network TV, which is huge. Okay, it's got a lot of weight behind it because it's got Anthony Anderson, who's done like a million TV shows. He got like the greatest agent in the history of the world. It's got Lawrence Fishburne. It's got some big name, good actors. So like, I'm not going to say it's going to be long-term The Cosby Show, but it has a future. It has a big future, and the themes and the writing is just excellent. And if you saw the episode from last night, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, they talked about the nod. This thing that black dudes have with each other when they're in a place where there's only a couple of us, they give the nod. And that's so true, okay? You feel me if you know the situation, if you know what I'm talking about. Yes, you give the nod to another brother in the place where there's not a lot. Like when I first got to my last job, okay, it was like me, my brother, we came in there together. And then it was Home Team Brandon Leak, shouts out Home Team, and it was Marvinsky. So I didn't know them from Adam. We didn't know them from Adam, but we saw him down the hall, walking down the hall the first time, and we gave him the nod. Okay, so that's what they were talking about last night. And also, very good acting. The little girl on that show is excellent. She really played her role last night. Tracy Ellis Ross is a doctor, and she wants her daughter to be a doctor. And the little girl didn't want to be a doctor. She wanted to be like in advertising, like her dad, like Anthony Anderson. And so the storyline was she was trying to convince her to do it, but the little girl, her acting was just excellent. You know, a lot of these kids on these TV shows, they can't act. They just get the best acting, which is a lot of time not very good at all, acting kid they can find and put them on the show. But this little girl did good. The little boy on the show was good as well. So we're talking about some underrated TV shows. And here's a chat message from James. He says, Stringer Bell is a Brit? ? Yes, he's British. Yes, and you would never know because every role you've seen him on, you know, play in this country, he's playing an American dude. And so he's acting, playing a guy that speaks like he's an American. Scotty, New York Undercover was a great underrated show. I don't know if New York Undercover was underrated. I mean, everybody I knew watched New York Undercover when it was on at its time, and that was probably early 90s when New York Undercover was on. They show repeats now. So I'll stop and watch American or New York Undercover now till this day. Very good show. So that's what we're talking about, underrated TV shows, as well as a couple of little sports stories. Speaking of which, owners' meetings are going on right now in the NFL, and a big focus of the meetings is the personal conduct policy. Between now and the Super Bowl, they're saying that they're going to be wholesale changes to the way that they've done things. I think everybody's committed to doing this in a thoughtful way and not just knee-jerk, and do something quickly, said Lisa Friel, the former New York City sex crimes prosecutor who's advising the league on these matters and who's addressed the owners on Wednesday. So that's one thing. And also, they're looking at taking away a little bit of power from Roger Goodell in, being the main or the only decision maker in some of these instances that have come about over the last couple of months in particular. So, and then people have talked about that forever, that Roger Goodell has too much power, and it looks like they're going to neuter him a little bit. They're going to snatch a little bit of his power away. They're going to cut his balls a little bit as far as being able to just be the end-all, be-all to everything where it deals with conduct in the NFL. So that's a good thing, and that's way, too long past. Should have been some moves made on that effort. And also, a tentative date of December 1st has been set for the Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson to stand trial on felony child abuse charges. His attorneys, Rusty Hardin, said on Wednesday, a spokesman for Peterson said, Adrian is going to trial. He's not looking for a deal. And we've talked about this over the last couple of days. You know good and damn well Adrian Peterson wasn't going to cop no deal. And I said this yesterday. Okay, you've seen Oz. You've seen what they do to child molesters and rapists and pervs and people that beat their children excessively, child abusers. So nobody's going to just, cop a plea on, abusing their children. All right. And chances are Adrian Peterson isn't going to jail. But they're saying he could get, if convicted, up to 6 months, up to 2 years, I think it was, for these charges. So he's not going to admit to anything like that. And he doesn't believe he did, abuse his child. He's said it before that he thinks that what he did was discipline his child. He went too far. I think most people will acknowledge that he went too far because there was visible marks and damage to his kid. But he's not going to admit and acknowledge or cop a plea on abusing his kid. Nobody's going to do that. Yeah, it's going to be a long 6 months or 2 years for you if you admit to beating the hell out of your kid and you get convicted of it. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show, 404-382-0338. Am I the only one that's got a fear of damn clowns? And this clown last night on American Horror Series he was brutal. This clown was so brutal. And you can probably Google a clown from American Horror Story. This clown had a painted piranha face, piranha teeth on his face, and he was scary as hell, and he was killing people with knives and jugging them to death. And jugging, that's an old school term right there. Yeah, he bludgeoned somebody to death with like an ice pick or something, and it was crazy. And so this show has like a huge following. Clown phobia is real, man. And I don't know why, because clowns are supposed to bring happiness. They're supposed to bring peace and happiness to people, but some kind of way. And I think, and I'm pointing my finger at the ceiling, I don't know why I do that all the time, but it's to show emphasis, I guess. I think that my fear and phobia about clowns comes from the fact is that they always damn smiling. And there's nothing natural about smiling all the time. You ever been with your boy somewhere or your wife or whoever, and you go into a store and the person's always smiling? Like, damn it, why are you smiling so much? Ain't nothing that funny. There's nothing to be that happy about. And I know it sounds like a curmudgeon and an old foggy, stogie type guy, but yes, people that smile all the time and that are always happy, they creep me the hell out. I don't know about you, but those people really creep me the hell out. So I think there's some type of connection between that, okay, our disdain for happy people all the time, and clowns. I think there's some type of connection. And clowns, I know it's your job to be a clown and to be happy and jolly, but damn it, there's nothing that happy and jolly to be about all the time. Like every time I see you, you happy and jolly. You happy and jolly. It's ridiculous. And so I think that's where the tie comes in. So we're talking about underrated TV shows, and people have sent me a couple of different ones on Twitter as well as on Facebook. And how about Masters of Sex? And that's very freaky. I watched 1 or 2 episodes. I think it's good. I think it's well written. I just didn't follow up on it as much as I think I should have. Maybe I need to go back and watch it again. How about Bob's Burgers? I got that on my Facebook page as well. Bob's Burgers is a animated show. Good. It's on Fox. That's what Fox does, is animated shows. Okay, that's what they do. The Simpsons. So that's what they do. And it's right up the alley of Fox. And I think Bob's Burgers is good. I used to DVR it, but I don't anymore. So it's good. I don't think it's groundbreaking. I don't think it's great where I'm going to continue to watch it forever and ever and ever, but it's good. So Bob's Burgers is another one somebody threw out there to me as well. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining you, folk. The funnest 2 hours on radio. Have you told 5 people? I'm taking that up. Have you told 6 people? We growing like crazy. We are growing like crazy, man. Yes. Everybody's telling everybody they know about the Doug Stewart Show, the most fun, the most interactive show online. Yes, on TV or radio for that matter, as far as sports and realness and trillness and fun. That's right, the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back from the break, little update on A.J. Green, wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. My homeboy, but I don't have a good taste in my mouth about A.J. Green. Maybe I'll tell you a little background on why I'm not the biggest A.J. Green fan when we get back from the break. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we'll talk about A.J. Green. Still talking about underrated TV shows. Having a little discussion on that. And more fun, and your calls, your tweets, your chat, all of that on the Doug Stewart Show. What is 9/11 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 9/11 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on the link on my website and let 9/11 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle, better known as Sam. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What do you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play win and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out,
I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl.
Well, get with the times with your long-distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the dougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Coming to you live, very live, on this Thursday afternoon. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're checking your boy out. Obviously, if you're listening to me and you can hear me, you are checking me out. Hope you're telling people about the Live is the most interactive sports talk show / entertainment show in America. And this segment is brought to you by 911 Tax Relief. Get Uncle Sam off your back. Go to my website, The Doug Stewart Show, and click on the banner link for 911 Tax Relief, and they'll help you out with your situation with Uncle Sam and the IRS. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338. Excuse me. And I got my producer just said during the break, you coming down with a cold? I think it's a little allergies or something like that. I don't know, but it's all right. We fight through these things because we're pros around here. In the truest sense, we are pros around here on the Doug Stewart Show. So we're having a little fun talking about underrated TV shows. Here's from Dane. He says, why didn't the Chappelle show last? Well, Dave Chappelle quit. If you didn't know, he turned out like $150 million contract from the Comedy Central. It was a Comedy Network, whatever it was. And he just went to Africa to find himself, which is crazy. From James Cooper, he says, Boondocks on Adult Swim. Yes, huge Boondocks fan. Aaron Magruder, more so fan of the previous episodes when he owned the show to this year. And I had my DVR set to watch that show as well. And I think I stopped recording it because I thought the new shows were so bad. And it was so bootleg to compare to what Magruder was doing on the show in its inception. So, not a Boondocks fan anymore. But the first couple of years, I was a huge Boondocks fan. So we're talking about underrated TV shows. Quickly, when I went to the break, we were talking about the shows that I watched last night. American Horror Story. I also watched Blackish and how I thought both of those shows were very good. I slept on this American Horror Story. Not really a horror guy. But I also watched another show on yesterday talking about underrated TV shows. Have you ever seen Survivor's Remorse? Okay, Survivor's Remorse is on, I think it's on Stars. And basically, it's about a kid from Boston that signs with the Atlanta basketball team. I don't think they even identified it as Hawks. And following him around. And it's the old story. His family and everybody close to him is trying to get his money, this, that, and the other. He's living the life, that type of thing. So it's basically, in a nutshell, it's the black version of Entourage. That's exactly what it is. And it's even 30 minutes. And I told my wife when we was watching it last night, because somebody told her to watch it, I told my wife, the reason why I didn't like Entourage like everybody else in America did is because it was too short. Yeah, it's 30 minutes long, and I didn't think they could. Whenever I started getting into it, then the damn show went off. And so the same thing with this show, Survivor's Remorse, is it's 30 minutes long. It's the exact same thing as Entourage, except for, catch this, it's Blackish. You get what I'm saying? So it's pretty decent. I love the fact that all these shows showing so much love to the ATL, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Like any show you can think of is filmed here in Atlanta. So it's good for us. It's good for our economy. It's good for our business. So I'm happy about that, but it's Entourage, but it's Blackish. And not talking about the TV show Blackish. It's just Blackish in the content. So pretty decent show. So check that out when you get a chance. It's on Stars. It's called Survivor's Remorse. Now, I mentioned before we went to the break, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that A.J. Green's in the news. He was carted off from practice yesterday. He hurt his toe a couple of weeks ago against the Baltimore Ravens in the opener. And so evidently it's flared up on him again. And so A.J. Green is very questionable this coming weekend. In weeks to come, as a matter of fact, he actually missed a game because of this toe injury. And he kind of described it as, turf toe, but not as bad, because he actually came back and played a game after he missed a game a couple of weeks ago in this past weekend. So if you're a fantasy guy, if you got A.J. Green on your team, I'm sure you know about this. One of the best receivers in the league over the last couple of years. And here's my beef with A.J. Green. It's not really a beef. It's just like I feel some type of way about A.J. Green. I do. I feel some type of way about A.J. Green because A.J. Green is from Summerville, South Carolina, which is the next town over from my hometown. We call it the big city, Monk's Corner, South Carolina. Okay? And so his high school, the Summerville Green Wave, and my high school, the Berkeley Stags, are rivals in its truest sense. And not so much now because, good Lord, and it's very depressing to even talk about. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. My high school was dropped down in division. We were one of the big boys in the state of South Carolina my entire life. In the last couple of years, through a lot of political BS, rezoning and this, that, and the other, they've taken away a lot of students from us. So we're 3A now, I think. We may even be 2A. No, I think we're 3A. And so Summerville is still one of the big boys in the block. So the rivalry is still there, but it's not to the degree in which it was before because of the different classifications. So bottom line is, I always, ever since, and it's like you from any small town, you feel some type of way from your rival or anybody from that town. So A.J. Green is one of the best receivers in the NFL. You would think I'd be proud of it, but I am, but I'm not, because he went to Somerville and all I seen is green and yellow. That's all. Whenever I see A.J. Green, no matter what uniform it is, whether it's the University of Georgia, that red and black, or whether it's the Cincinnati Bengals, I always see green and yellow. So I feel some type of way about A.J. Green on that front. And then I also didn't like the fact, I really feel some type of way about a guy that leaves the state of South Carolina to play for another school out of state. You know, right? My brother did the same damn thing. He left South Carolina, came to Georgia Tech. Bobby Ingram left South Carolina and played for Penn State. Just a ton of great players have left the state and gone and played for another state. Now, Steve Spurrier has kind of changed that mentality a little bit. He's gotten the best players in the state. He got Jadeveon Clowney. So he's been really recruiting very good in the state. But I really feel like you like forsaking your peoples when you leave the state and go play for another college. But yeah, so that's kind of like why I really got some type of love-hate relationship with A.J. Green, but definitely a baller, one of the best players in the game. And I think if it wasn't for Calvin Johnson, Megatron, A.J. would be even more highly regarded. But Calvin Johnson is that dude, and I talked yesterday, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining me. I talked yesterday about the quarterbacks in this league and the young quarterbacks and how healthy the league is as far as quarterbacks. Man, the league has some great wide receivers right now as well. I mean, and there's always going to be talent there. There's always going to be great talent. But when you talk about Calvin Johnson and A.J. Green and Dez Bryant and Andre Johnson and the receivers they have out in San Francisco, you know, those guys, Stevie Johnson and those guys, man, there's some great wide receivers in the NFL. You throw Julio Jones into that conversation. There's some fantastic, all-pro type world receivers in the NFL. And A.J. Green is at the top of that list. So proud of him, but feel some type of way about him as well. 404-382-0338. This is the Doug Stewart Show, and thank you for joining your boys. I really do appreciate it. From James Cooper, Tony Rice won a national championship at Notre Dame. That's exactly right. Tony Rice from the great state of South Carolina, from Woodruff, okay? Woodruff High School, played at Notre Dame. They won the national championship, so very proud of them. But once again, why don't you just stick with your peoples, man? Go to South Carolina, go to Clemson. Am I the only one that feels that way? You know, that you kind of feel like that they're a traitor, you know? Because I've always felt, and we've talked about this on the show plenty of times before, I've always felt that talent's going to be found. I mean, you've seen millions of instances of that. At my particular school in general, South Carolina State University. I mean, Robert Porcher played defensive end for the Detroit Lions for like a decade, but they found him at South Carolina State. Scouts going to find talent. So it's not almost as much as where you go to school at, but as if you have talent. If you have talent, they will find you no matter where you're at. Where did Andre Reed go? Didn't he go to Kutztown State? Some school that I have no idea where the hell it is. So I understand that one school can offer you this, maybe academic-wise, or some major that you want that another school doesn't, or one school plays more on TV and you like that because it's going to help you get more chicks. I get that type of thing and that mentality when you're a young person, but damn, I mean, don't think that playing for this particular school is going to get you to the pros more so than another school. It may to a slight degree, but not to the degree where I think you shouldn't show love to your in-state schools. Yes. I'm always pumping up South Carolina. And I'm pretty sure if you're from Texas, you do the same thing. If you're from New York, if you're from Pennsylvania, people from Pennsylvania always tell you they have some of the best football in this country. Or from Florida, they always big up their states and always pushing Miami or Florida State and those schools. So I always show love. I mean real love to the state of South Carolina. From Vernon, he says, Jersey is the same way. We have so many great players all over the U.S. playing for top schools. And yes, there are an abundance of great players coming from the state of Pennsylvania, but not like the South, Vern. Let's keep it real. I mean, back in the day, and there's a ton of players from Pittsburgh. I know that Dan Marino's from the state of Pennsylvania. So there's been a lot of great talent. But let's keep it real, Vern. We talking the South. We talking Miami. We talking Florida. We talking Georgia. We talking Louisiana. We talking South Carolina. The best talent in the world is from the South. Am I lying about that? No, I'm not lying about that. This is the Doug Stewart Show. We're also talking about some of your favorite underrated TV shows. I got to underrate, and I don't even know if it's underrated as much as I think people just don't like the concept. But First 48 is a phenomenal show, and I DVR'd that show as well, and I've probably seen 150 episodes, and it's so real. You talk about reality TV, and a lot of these shows claim to be reality TV. And that's a lie. That's a damn lie. It's as fake as a $3 bill, okay? But yeah, First 48 is real reality. Fantastic show, okay? Fantastic show. Very well put together. And it always freaks me out how they give authorization to let these cameras come in when they're doing this police work and they're investigating these murders. And it's a great show. Great concept. Very good show, and I think it's acclaimed. I think most people know about First 48, but I don't even think it gets enough credit. I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves. I mean, it's a phenomenal show. So we're having a little fun with that, talking about your underrated TV shows. Watched a show last night that evidently I didn't even know. That's like big time. It's trending. It has a huge following. American Horror Stories. And so Tree got me on it last night, and I watched it. It's pretty decent, and I'm not even a horror guy. So we're having a little fun with that, doing that on the show today, and having a little fun with that on the funnest, most interactive show online. All right, when we get back from the break, Paul Pierce punk ass. And I just thought about it. I got a Paul Pierce story. Yeah, my Paul Pierce story when we get back from the break. But he's in the news a little bit. Him and the Washington Wizards. I know three-peat is out there, or not three-peat. Triple digits out there, saying, oh my gosh, Doug's about to talk about my team. He's a big Wizards fan. So yeah, I'm going to talk about Paul Pierce and his punk ass a little bit later. I forgot all about my history with Paul Pierce. I'll tell you about that, tell you about the story, underrated TV shows, and more of your phone calls, tweets, and all of that type of stuff. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Keep it locked. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it. And make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What do you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play when and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk dudes in America? By the way, I'm talking about myself. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty, people know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boy. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlements or solutions to your tax problems. highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've also helped thousands of people, thousands, solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle. You know, Uncle Sam.
In an all-out war against lame-ass sports talk, the Doug Stewart Show.
That's right, we in an all-out war against lame-ass, punk-ass sports talk on the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your folk. Yes. And this is a Throwback Thursday. Thank you for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. And having a little fun talking about underrated TV shows. I watched American Horror Story last night. Kind of interesting. Not my type of thing, but it was kind of good, kind of well written. Kind of scared me for a second. So, and then I also watched Blackish last night. So we're talking about underrated TV shows. A lot of people sleeping on some of these shows. But, yeah, give me an underrated TV show, something that you watched, that you enjoyed, that a lot of people aren't really paying attention to, or from now or in the past. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to talk about, we can do it on the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. Once again, the number is 404-382-0338. That is the number to the show, and this is the Doug Stewart Show. All right? And, yeah, you can email me as well at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Got some chat going on right here. It says from Chucktown Frank. What up, Chucktown Frank? Yeah, you changed your moniker because your boss was listening to the Doug Stewart Show too and heard me call your name yesterday. I guess he's talking about why, or my opinions earlier when I said I hate when players from in-state leave and go play for other states and make them better, take their talents elsewhere. He says, but Dougie... And Chucktown Frank does call me Dougie, which is crazy because the only people from my hometown and that I grew up would call me Dougie, but we cool like that, so it's all good. He says, but Dougie, the only school that had a high level of accolades at that time was Clemson. Remember, USC was in the Metro Conference. Those guys had to take the talents where they could, maximize them, and grow. Plus, why would you pick any other place than Georgia Tech? Ryan is a genius. So Chucktown Frank went to Georgia Tech, so he's a big Georgia Tech fan. I'm a big Georgia Tech fan, too, as well. And I don't think they, in basketball, I think the University of South Carolina was in the Metro Conference. I think what he's talking about is back in the day before South Carolina got in the SEC. They were either in the ACC or I think South Carolina might have been an independent. I can't remember. Obviously, I was young, and we're talking about back in the day when Sterling Sharp played there and Todd Ellis. I think at that time, before they had joined the SEC, and somebody can verify this, I think they were basketball. I think they were in the Metro Conference. I do believe that. And I don't think there was a Metro Conference for football. If there was, I don't remember any conversation about it. But I think the football team was either an independent or they were in the ACC. And we're talking George Rogers days in the early 80s, Sterling Sharp days, Robert Brooks days. Robert Brooks may have, the wide receiver, played for the Green Bay Packers. I think he may have been a Gamecock at the time when they were in the SEC. I'm not sure about those dates. I'm really not great at dates and remembering stuff like that. So help me verify when South Carolina came into the SEC conference, somebody on the chat line or on Twitter, and what conference or not were they in before they did that. I mentioned before we went to the break, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and this segment is brought to you by Univon. Great long distance, not like you at your mama house. International calling, it all for fantastic prices. They got great plans. So go to thedougstewartshow.com and check out Univon. All right, DeJuan Blair, Nene. At what point do you get the ability to call yourself by one name? Like, how are the rules that work on that? Nene, is that the only name he has on his birth certificate? Did his mama just name him Nene? And that was it? Or is it some type of, I don't know, wherever the hell he's from, and that's the way they do it? So, all right, I digress. Daniel Orton and Xavier Silas of the Washington Wizards have each been suspended for one game for leaving their team's bench area in Monday's preseason game against the Chicago Bulls. The four players left the bench during a shoving match between the Bulls, Joakim Noah, and the Wizards' Paul Punk-Ass Pierce. Noah was fined $15,000 for starting the altercation with 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the opening quarter by pushing Paul Pierce in the chest. Pierce also was fined $15,000 for poking Noah in the forehead with his index finger. Now, I actually saw the video on this. I didn't see it live. Somebody called the show yesterday talking about it, or either the day before talking about it. And I saw it, and you just got to know Paul Pierce to understand how this thing probably happened. Paul Pierce is an a-hole. I mean, pure and simple. Now, I'm not going to give Joakim Noah a pass on this. I don't know exactly what happened. We don't know exactly what happened. But I can tell you from personal experience that Paul Pierce is a jerk. And the guy's running off the bench. I don't know. I think everybody knows at this point that you can't get off the bench. You're going to be suspended or fined or something, right? Was it maybe it was a case that they didn't think that they could be suspended or fined because it was preseason? Because you're talking 4 guys. That's it. And it's so known in the NBA that you can't come off the bench, that you can't come onto the floor, that whenever a real fight does happen in the NBA or something that looks like it could be a real fight, nobody comes off the bench anymore. So were they confused? Did they think this is just preseason, so no big deal, I'm going to come off the bench? Yeah, that's strange to me that those guys would do that. But yeah, so they're getting penalized by the league. Quick Paul Pierce story, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And it's unbelievable to me that the pool tournament that me and Ryan Evan won in Las Vegas like 6, 7, 8 years ago has come up on this show so many times over the last 3 weeks. I guess that was just a very eventful night. But in this same pool tournament that was held by Alonzo Mourning that I've told people about for the last 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks of this show, Paul Pierce was in this tournament. Now, I don't think that we actually played against Paul Pierce, or maybe we did. I'm not 100% sure because my head is bad like that. But Paul Pierce was in this tournament, and somehow we exchanged words. Like, Paul Pierce, walked by us and, slighted us, I need you guys to get out the way. Handed us like some old okie dokes. You know what I'm saying? How dare you're in the presence of us, of me, Paul Pierce. He had this arrogance about himself that we were like, dude. Ryan came over to me at some point in the night. He's like, are you getting a bad vibe from Paul Pierce like I am? And I'm like, yeah. It's almost like we got to transform into the Pitbull Brothers or something like that. Because, that's what we were known as when we were growing up, the Pitbull Brothers, because we would go to your ass. We had this little thing that we had worked out in the confines of our home, where I would drop down on all fours, and Ryan would push you. That old trick, the old banana in the tailpipe trick. So we had our routine. We were like a tag team. We were like the Anderson brothers or something. The Fabulous Freebirds. We had tag team moves together. So I don't think Paul Pierce, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I don't think Paul Pierce understood that he was in real jeopardy of getting his ass kicked. Yes! That he was handling us like some old Rudy Poots. And yeah, we didn't play in the NBA, and we don't have millions of dollars in the bank, but damn it, you're going to treat us with some respect. And I don't care who you are, all right? You're just not going to handle us like any old kind of way. And it kind of clicked after that night and being around Paul Pierce for a couple of hours. That dude is an asshole, okay? And you remember that. You remember that situation, that story that happened. He got stabbed 15 or 20 times in Boston from some fight. It was a rapper involved or something like that. Benzino maybe or something like that. And you kind of understand that Paul Pierce, and allegedly I think that story when he was trying to stop the fight, I believe it was. Yeah, I don't believe that for a minute. I believe Paul Pierce is he's an instigator. He's one of those instigators. And Paul Pierce is very arrogant, and he thinks he's tough. I don't know, it's because he thinks he's from L.A. or Compton or whatever. I got a news flash for you. People from Compton and L.A. can get their ass kicked too. Yes. So that's, whenever I hear about anything Paul Pierce related, I'm always blaming him. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm always blaming him. I don't know what was said, and probably Joakim Noah's like, man, I don't like this dude either. It's gone over years. And, Paul Pierce did that thing a couple of years ago in the playoffs where he allegedly got hurt, was wheeled off in a wheelchair, I believe. Was it a wheelchair? They picked him up and took him off the court, and then he came back in the second half and had like a brilliant game. So he's a faker too. I said it. He's an a-hole and a faker. Yes, Paul Pierce. Don't like him. Never liked him. Never liked him. But after that thing in Vegas, I really didn't like him, and he was really in jeopardy of getting his ass whooped. He just doesn't even know it. He doesn't even know it. The number is 404-382-0338, so that's my Paul Pierce story, and that's real as trio can be. Yeah. There's a lot of guys you meet in the NBA, in pro sports in general. They're cool people. They're just people. They're just good people. Never really had that reaction. I can't think of anybody else outside of Warren Sapp. Like, in over a decade of rubbing elbows with these cats, Super Bowls, interviews, this, that, and the other, I can say I really never had a bad experience or thought somebody was an a-hole, except for Paul Pierce and Warren Sapp. And I've told the story before about Warren Sapp, and he's a big a-hole. Yeah, and people have said that before, and I believe it. He is a huge a-hole. Yeah, this is the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back from the break, Roger Goodell and the NFL owners meeting, talking about some major changes. We'll touch upon that. And we're also talking about underrated TV shows. You got any underrated TV shows out there? Blackish Last Night is good. I think it's getting a lot of press, but I think it may still be a little bit underrated. Did you see, or are you a fan of American Horror Story on FX? Yeah, I watched that last night. So we're having a little discussion about underrated TV shows on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would Joe's like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes! I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out,
I know you better not be talking long distance on that phone, running up my bill with that old hussy.
Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedugstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your people like you not at your mama house. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedugstewartshow.com or the app link for details.
He's nobody's sports talk puppet, the Doug Stewart Show.
That's right, nobody's puppet. Not on this show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thanks for joining you, folk. I really do appreciate it. And, man, having a great time. And, man, I got to thank you again. And I'm thanking people all over the place because I'm really appreciative I'm very grateful for the success of the show. Not last night, but the night before, Tuesday night, we went over 10,000 listens in just 12 days. Unbelievable. I don't know, but it's got to be a record or something. It's got to be a record. And I look at some of the other shows on Spreaker that we're going against. Oh, yeah, and about that fact is that's just from Spreaker.com. That doesn't even count my website, which we're still calculating the figures. I got my web guys doing that. So I'm estimating we probably over 16, 17,000 listens in 12 days. That's got to be a record. That's got to be a record. So thank you very much for doing it and passing the word and telling people about the livest, most interactive, closest thing to the Two Live Stews. Besides the Two Live Stews, the Doug Stewart Show. This segment is brought to you by Join 7. And Join 7 is a protection group, and they protect against life's little mishaps. You know, little things that happen that really aren't covered by insurance. Join 7 protects you against those things. So go to my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and check that out. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show, 404-382-0338. See, this is why I love the dogs and the poodles. It says, according to Wikipedia, South Carolina was in the ACC until 1971, okay? And then they left and became an independent until 1992 when they joined the SEC. So I was exactly right. I wasn't sure about the dates, but I knew they had been in the ACC when they were in the ACC or when they left the ACC. I was 2 years old. If you're talking about 1971. Yeah, I was 2 years old. So clearly I don't remember that, but yeah, I remember the talk about them being in the ACC, South Carolina, and I knew that they had been an independent. In basketball, South Carolina was in conference or was in the Metro Conference, but in football they were independents. They were like Notre Dame, but just not as good. And South Carolina had some good teams back in the day. They had some individually good players. But man, Steve Spurrier has just turned the whole damn thing around. It was more so Clemson when I was growing up. And you know, Clemson won the national championship, I believe it was, 1981? So Clemson was the bee's knees back in the day when I was growing up. South Carolina always had like some of the best fans, the best crowd atmosphere with Cocky at Williams-Brice Stadium. But they weren't Clemson. Clemson has kind of fallen off. And Clemson always reminds me of the University of Georgia. And the fact that they feel like they should win the national championship every year. This is going to be their year. They're going to go back to being a national power like they were in 81 and like Georgia was in the early 80s. And it just hadn't happened. Like the rest of the college football world has just passed us by. And South Carolina has been very successful over the last couple of years, but they aren't, in a real threat to win a national championship, I don't think. Definitely not this year because they've kind of been reeling a little bit, but not a traditional power when you, in the sense of the word or the phrase like Auburn or Alabama or Michigan, even though Michigan's down right now, you know the point I'm trying to make. So I always and this goes back to the conversation about, I really hate it when players leave the state of South Carolina or your particular state, if you're talking about where you're from, and go and play for another state. So we had a little conversation about that earlier. And we're also talking about underrated TV shows. Last night was turned on to American Horror Story. And from what I understand, it plays on some of the books of Stephen King back in the day. So I didn't get a lot of the references, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was well done. They had a real scary-ass clown on there last night. I mean, real scary. And I got a little tweet earlier. Somebody mentioned the fact that I mentioned the killer clowns from outer space. Google killer clowns from outer space and look how creepy those damn clowns were. They had a clown on this show last night that surpassed creepiness for the killer clowns from outer space clowns. Yes, this clown on this show last night was stupid creepy. Yes, it was crazy, stupid, ridiculous, creepy. And so everybody is evidently talking about this show. This show was like trending big time. And so we started talking about underrated TV shows on the Doug Stewart Show today, having a little fun with that. Not a lot of big stories going on in the world of sports. So what we do around here, There's not a lot of big stuff to talk about. Nobody's beating up their teammate, calling and bullying him, or nobody's whooping the hell out of their kids, or nobody's beating up their girlfriend. If there's no story like that, we still talk about what we talk about, whatever you're talking about, whatever's trending, whatever's out there. And that's what we do on this show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining you, folk. The email address is doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Are you a company out there that's looking to partner with the Doug Stewart Show? You should be. I mean, seriously, you should be, because we're doing huge things around here. And you need to get in on the ground floor. I just talked about what we've been doing numbers-wise. We got a national presence, which is the great thing about doing this show online is it's not just in Atlanta. And we're Atlanta-centric, and we talk Falcons, Braves, and Hawks first. And we take those conversations first. But we all over the world. Yes, you can hear this show all over the world. Prague, Tanzania, Nigeria, Iceland, Ireland. You can hear this show everywhere. So if you got peoples in those places I just named, tell them to log on to thedougstewartshow.com or go to Spreaker.com and listen to the show Monday through Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. And make sure you continue to pass the word and tell at least 5 people. I really would appreciate it. All right, Commissioner Roger Goodell estimated that 5 of the 9.5 hours of NFL owners' meetings Wednesday were focused on the league's personal conduct policy and issues of social responsibility. The league plans to announce an overhaul personal conduct policy at some point between now and the Super Bowl, and overhauled. And the changes could include a diminished role for the commissioner himself in the process. And I've said he's always had too much power. And really, you can blame the players for their labor negotiations and giving Roger Goodell just total power. I think everybody is committed to doing this in a thoughtful way, not a knee-jerk way. And something quickly, said Lisa Frio, the former New York City sex crimes prosecutor, who's advising the league on these matters and who addressed the owners Wednesday. Goodell has presided with total control over the personal conduct policy since 2007. Damn, I didn't realize Roger Goodell's been the commissioner that long. Damn, I didn't realize that. Though the league recently agreed to a neutral arbitration for Ray Rice's appeal hearing, which has prompted hope on the players' union side that it will agree to a neutral arbitration in future discipline cases as well. The league has yet to determine whether that's the way it wants to go. And so here's more of that conversation when the owners are happy with the job that Roger Goodell is doing. You really couldn't pin that he saw the Ray Rice tapes where he hit his soon-to-be wife Janae in the elevator. So the owners paid this guy $44 million a couple of years ago. Evidently, they like the job he's doing, and so they want to keep him. So he works for the owners. I mean, don't get it twisted. He doesn't work for the players in any manner. He works for the owners, and they like the job and the money and the bottom line that he's brought to the league. Which, yes, you have to be happy with. Under his regime, the NFL has flourished. Not denying that, but Roger Goodell had a major faux pas in the way that he handled all these domestic abuse cases. And I think that he should have fell on the sword. And I think a lot of people in the NFL, a lot of former players, a lot of current players have showed disdain for the way that Roger Goodell handled that whole situation. And as simple as this, it's a lack of institutional control. And that's how he should lose his job, and why he should lose his job is because he's the face of everything wrong that's happened over the last month and a half, 2 months. But guess what? It looks like that Roger Goodell is going to survive this thing. What he's been doing is hanging low. He's been staying out of the public eye outside of these meetings that are going on right now. And I think he's going to survive this thing. I think he's going to survive it. I think there was a lot of talk and a groundswell of agreement that Roger Goodell should be fired, step down, whatever. And that's kind of subsided over the last week and a week and a half. So I think he's going to survive this thing. And I think one positive thing out of it is a lot of wholesale changes going to happen where as far as his power, which we just talked about. So I think that's going to be a positive that comes out of the situation. But truth be told, I think he should have been fired. And I'm not a Roger Goodell fan. I'll say that outright. I've said it before for many, many years. Always, like this new sentiment about Roger Goodell has too much power and he's handling things wrong. This isn't a new sentiment from me. I've always said this very shortly after him taking office that I thought he was too heavy-handed. I thought he's very hypocritical in the way he doles out punishments as far as owners compared to players. So I've always been a proponent an opponent of Roger Goodell and the job that he's done as NFL commissioner. So this is nothing new for me. It's definitely nothing new for me. It's like everybody else is just getting on the bandwagon and kind of realizing some of the things that I've been saying for years are true, are very, very true. And so we'll see how this thing plays out, but it's been a very dark couple of months for the NFL. Still flourishing. People still going to games, still watching games. Watching TV, watching the Red Zone, NFL Network, what have you, every single Sunday, every single Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, for that matter. So the NFL is going to be fine. The NFL ain't going nowhere, but Roger Goodell, I think he's going to dodge a bullet. All right, when we get back from the break, talk a little bit about what's going on with some other stories in the NFL, and also read more of your suggestions for underrated TV shows in honor of some new TV shows that aren't getting as much talk as I think they should. I saw Blackish last night, thought it was very good. I think Blackish has gotten better over the first 3 episodes. Okay, so we're talking about TV shows. American Horror Story has a big following, and I didn't know anything about it. So I would consider it underrated, but evidently it has a huge following. It was trending last night. So what's a TV show out there that you watch? I talk about Luther, starring Idris Elba on the BBC network. Fantastic show, very well played. It's kind of freaky when you watch Idris Elba talking his native British accent, though. Because I thought dude was an American until somebody told me. Matter of fact, I thought that he had been born in England or whatever, born British, but grew up in the States. And no, that's not the case. His natural tongue, the way he talks, is like he's from England. Okay, and he's British. So very, very interesting talk when you talk about underrated TV shows. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, your phone calls, if we have any, also tweets, chat on Spreaker.com. We're doing all of that. Don't go away. Doug Stewart.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes! This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out,
I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl.
Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstortshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
Thank you for joining the Doug Stewart Show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining, you folk. I really, really do appreciate it. And this segment of today's show is brought to you by 911 Tax Relief. Get Uncle Sam off your back. And go to my website, thedougsstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link and get Uncle Sam off your back. Yes, this is the Doug Stewart Show. The most fun, the most entertaining sports talk show in America. We're claiming that title. We are claiming it. I mean, why wouldn't we claim it? I mean, in 12 days, we got over 10,000 listens. That's huge. Yes. And it's basically Stew-style radio. Yeah, Stew-style radio in its finest form. So make sure you pass the word and tell people about the livest, the most interactive sports talk show in America. And in about 2 minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Pacquiao getting it on. Now, we've also been talking about underrated TV shows. And so I got a couple of emails here. Somebody says, have you ever seen Misfits? It's on Hulu. Fantastic show. Here's the thing. I don't really have a Hulu account. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. So I'm not really big into Hulu. It's a long story. So I haven't heard about this show called Misfits. I'm going to do a little bit of research on it when the show is over and check it out. How about Community on NBC? Doug, it's a great show. Stars Dan Harmon created when he was fired. When he fired, then rehired. Community is easily one of the more brilliant decisions by NBC to keep on their air. And here comes a little bit of conversation on what I had a couple of days ago, is I really don't watch network TV outside of this Blackish show that I've been watching since it's come on. It's kind of like the only network show that I can remember watching. I watch exclusively HBO and Showtime and Starz cable shows, cable original series, that type of thing. I mean, and I can go toe to toe with anybody on conversations about some of the greatest cable series of all times. I've got like a top 5 list that we could talk about. But yeah, so if it's on NBC, I probably hadn't watched it. I tried to watch that show last year, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, where the people were coming back from the dead, where they were playing the song, I'm coming home. I can't even remember the name of it right now. But I watched that, but I didn't follow up with it. So it's very rare, in a nutshell, that I watch network TV. It's very, very rare that I watch that stuff. So we're talking about underrated TV shows, some that I've never heard of before, and it all spurns from the show I watched last night, American Horror Show, or the American Horror Series or whatever, AHS, as well as Blackish. So we're having a little conversation about that. I'm going to read some of these tweets I got, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Doug Stewart, an underrated show is Chronicles of a Baller. That was way before its time. And yes, this guy, Chip Peters, he evidently was a fan of the Two Live Stews, because we had an ongoing daily original series that was called Chronicles of a Baller. And it was way before its time. And it was like a 2-minute episode every single day. And it ended the week with cliffhangers on Friday. And we had season finales where the writers would go back and write another season. So we did that type of thing on the Two Live Stews. And once we get our writers and we get our budget up and we can hire some writers, we'll probably do another daily 2-minute show, original series on the Doug Stewart Show. But right now, no. Yeah, like the old dude on Friday when Debo asked him, did he want some? You want some of this, old man? No. Right now, we're not playing any copyrighted music. And we don't have the budget to hire the best writers in the business, but we will because we're doing big things, but not right now. No. We got a tweet here from Rodney Ho. Shouts out to Rodney Ho, writer, entertainment writer for the AJC. Yeah, Rodney Ho giving me a little bit of love. He says, I think it's a little bit of love. Let me read it. Check out Doug Stewart of the Two Live Stews trying out his own web-only radio show. Thank you, Rodney Ho, for the little shout-out. I appreciate it, brother. Yes, I didn't even know you followed me. Okay. So Rodney Ho from the AJC gave me a little shout-out. And no, we're not trying out our radio show. No, we doing our radio show, Rodney. I have to correct you on that. I appreciate the shout-out. But no, we're not trying this out. We doing it, and we legit. We big time. We in a plush studio, and we doing big things, and this thing is real. I mean, Monday through Friday, we on a schedule, and we not on CP time. Yes, we start at 11 promptly. This is the real deal. I mean, this show is comes across in as quality as any show you'll hear on radio and TV. Now, is some of our programming or our some ad stuff, some added stuff to the show? Could it get better? Yes. Yes, of course, because our budget is low. But that's on purpose. But we're quality around here. Yes, we are doing a quality radio show. But thank you for the shout out, Rodney Ho. Okay. Sometimes Rodney Ho, when the phone rings and I'm talking to him, I'm like very reserved and very cautious about what's said. But that's a shout out. He's telling people about the Doug Stewart Show. I really do appreciate it. So we probably got a lot of new listeners, because Rodney Ho is big time as far as the entertainment and radio and TV in the city of Atlanta. So I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that saw that tweet and tuned in. So if you're new to the show, it's the Doug Stewart Show. We're in week 3, and it's basically the stews, except for there's only one stew. The other stew is retired, and I have to keep reminding people about that. The other stew is a soccer dad right now. Yes, he's Mr. Mom, all right? He's lugging kids around town and taking them to soccer practice and baseball practice and football practice, and he's also playing golf every single day. Yes, Ryan Evans is playing golf just about every single day, doing some stuff with some organizations. You know, we're Omegas, we're Prince Hall Masons. He's part of the 100 Black Men of Atlanta, so we do a lot of things around here. Still get asked to host a lot of stuff, and so we're doing good. We're blessed. So if you're new to this show, you used to listen to the Stews, thank you so much for joining. And whatever we did on that show and the fun that we had, you can't get the classic arguments and the banter back and forth between me and my brother. But damn it, one stew is better than no stew. Yes. Believe that. All right. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. That's 404-382-0338. And this is the Doug Stewart Show. We've been talking a little bit about Roger Goodell and Adrian Peterson. And I promised, I kind of teased that we were going to talk about Floyd Mayweather a little bit. And I didn't get to it. But that's all right. Damn it, it's my show. We'll get to it. But Floyd Mayweather, matter of fact, Floyd Sr. is in the news. I'm going to tell you what Floyd Sr. had to say about the perspectives of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao fight. You don't want to miss this. I mean, seriously, stay tuned, because when we get back, I'm going to tell you what Floyd Sr. had to say about the chances of him and his son and Pacquiao finally getting it on. And I'll give you my thoughts on that, on whether I think it's actually going to happen or not. All right, this is the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Keep it locked.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com, and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes! Here's your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current meta file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out,
I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl.
Well, get with the times with your long-distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the dougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
Now back to the realest sports talk show in America, the Doug Stewart Show.
That's right. This is the realest, treeless sports talk show in America. Yes, the Doug Stewart Show. And thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. Having fun on this Thursday afternoon. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're telling people and passing the word about the Doug Stewart Show. And second, we're going to talk a little bit about Floyd Mayweather Sr., what he had to say about the possibilities of Junior fighting Manny Pacquiao. So we'll get to that in a second. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can email me, Doug, at thedougstewartshow.com. And this segment is brought to you by FanDuel. One-day fantasy sports for as low as $1. You can't beat it. And FanDuel is just that thing. I mean, it's real cool. So go to my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and click on the banner link and get down with some of this FanDuel. All right? Although Floyd Mayweather Jr. has yet to announce his plans for 2015, his father has no doubt that a fight against Manny Pacquiao will happen soon. Yes! He says, quote, it's going to happen. That fight's going to happen. Trust me, Floyd Mayweather Sr. told FightHype.com. That fight's definitely going to happen. Yeah, Floyd, you said that like 10 times. It's a fight for the world. Man, right there. It's the biggest fight that has ever been in life. Yeah, I don't know about the biggest fight that's ever been in life, but it would be pretty big. Not half as big as it would have been 5 years ago. And that's my personal commentary. But so he says, so like I said, man, that fight's going to happen. So he's his dad. So clearly he's been talking to his son off the record. And maybe for some reason something's changed in the whole dichotomy of this thing. And Floyd's going to fight Manny Pacquiao now. And here's the thing about that. Floyd can't win for losing. Because I promise you, when he knocks out or when he beats Manny Pacquiao, I don't know if he'll knock him out, but he'll definitely beat him. And I think most educated boxing fans will agree on that. When he beats him, people are going to say, why didn't he fight him 5 years ago? Like, Manny's lost a step, this, that, and the other. So Floyd can't win. And Floyd's pretty much intimated that next year is going to be his last year boxing once he finishes out this contract that he has going on right now with Showtime. Okay? And so if he retires, I talked about the great, what's his name, the all-time boxer, not Joe Louis, white guy. Anyway, I talked about him yesterday retiring undefeated, okay? And so Floyd might have that ability to do that as well, where he could retire undefeated. I doubt he's going to do that, okay? I doubt he's going to do that because it's just too much money to be made and boxers keep fighting until they can't fight anymore. But why wouldn't you? Because you can make all the money you can. Why can't you make a couple more $1 million and at some point lose a couple of fights? You know? But Floyd might be that type of guy to do it, where he'll retire undefeated. Okay? And that'll be a huge thing, and people are always, they don't like Floyd's personality, and I get that. He's very braggadocious and over the top. Rocky Marciano's the guy I was talking about yesterday. Once again, I have these brain farts, so please excuse me. So, yeah, Floyd might try to go out like Rocky Marciano undefeated. I think he has the arrogance to do something like that, but then again, I don't think so, because why wouldn't you just keep fighting until you lose 2 or 3 times where clearly your skills have diminished and just keep making the money? I mean, $1 million is $1 million. So that's the scenario surrounding that type of thing. So if Floyd beats Manny Pacquiao, which he probably will, there's going to be naysayers out there. It's like, you caught Manny at the end of his career. He clearly lost some steps. He wasn't the same fighter. So he really can't win, for losing. And he's clearly shown that he's a draw. Whoever he fights, if he fights Manny Pacquiao, I don't know what the purse would be. I mean, Floyd's got $30, $40 million fights under his belt. Would Floyd get a check from Showtime for the pay-per-view and for the box office? Would he get a check for $100 million? I think that's maybe where you're talking about, because people want to see Floyd lose. People really want to see Floyd Mayweather lose, and that's the draw. Not the fact that, you're going to watch one of the greatest fighters of all time. You're going to watch because most people want to watch because they want to see Floyd get beat. And I can tell you right now, I can take away the suspense. He's not going to lose to Manny Pacquiao. He's just not. He's not. So I think that's some of Floyd's thinking right now is, I'm going to go ahead and make this money. The benefit to him is he would get clearly the biggest purse that he's ever gotten in all of his years of fighting, and he's been doing it a long, long time. All right? Manny Pacquiao's 35 years old. Floyd's 37 years old, 47-0, 26 knockouts. Hadn't really knocked out a lot of guys in the last couple of years. But he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. There's just no denying that. Yeah, here's a message from Fred. He says, put my money on money. Yeah, you better do that. From that ninja, the mainstream and uptight ass people will never give Floyd his proper credit because he won't smile and act accordingly. Yes, Floyd Mayweather is not a puppet. And that's one thing that I respect. And I talk about the fact that, this isn't the puppet factory, and I'm going to keep it real. And the opinions that I espouse here on this show are me. And it is what it is, and I think a lot of people and a lot of companies out there respect that. But you know what? A lot of people don't like Floyd because he does what he wants to do. And he's definitely over the top, arrogant and brash. But man, hell, you only got one life. I ain't mad at dude. Now, some of the charges that he's had and some of the things behind the scenes when abusing women, I'm not down with that. Who is? Of course not. And I'm not even saying that Floyd's one of my favorite people and fighters of all time. It's almost like my thoughts on Floyd, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, my thoughts on Floyd Mayweather Jr. is kind of like what they are for Kobe Bryant. I don't think Kobe Bryant's the dude I want to go hang out with. Kobe Bryant's proven himself to be a jerk, okay? Floyd Mayweather is probably a jerk in most people's standards. But I'm talking about his skill set and his fighting ability, okay? And being a pugilist. Floyd is one of the greatest of all time. Just respect his authority. Whatever movie that came from. Respect his level of skill. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, he might be like Ty Cobb, a racist off the field. But Ty Cobb goes down as one of the greatest baseball players in the history of the world. You got to give it to Floyd. Floyd is one of the best to ever do it. And he just will not get credit because he doesn't play the corporate little role and say the right things and the politically correct things, and he's brash and he's over the top. But Floyd, that's another thing about Floyd. He's a promoter. He's been promoting fights his entire life. His whole life has been about promoting the next fight. So he grew up in that atmosphere. okay, in that culture. So, I think a lot of what he does is put on, but a lot of what he does is like genius. He's smart as a fox. Whether you love him or hate him, you want to watch Floyd Mayweather box. Let's talk to Triple Digit. Triple Digit, it's like a tradition. Thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What you got?
I'm allowed to call in every day of the week. This is great.
Appreciate it, man, Triple Digit. Thank you so much for the support, brother.
Oh, definitely. I love it. It's my midday. Like I said, I'm ready for Fridays when I could go to whatever name dealership signs on as a sponsorship to go see some of the dogs and poodles and all that stuff.
There it is. There it is. What else you got?
I don't want to mention anybody's names. You were talking Rocky Marciano was the boxer.
Yeah, somebody hit me on the chat and said Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano, he kicked Joe Lewis's ass.
All good stuff. Underrated show. You grew up 80s kid too, and have you seen the Goldbergs? It's right on before Blackish.
No, and somebody hit me on Twitter, I believe it was, or maybe instant message, not instant message, a text message, and talked about the Goldbergs. So it's a good show.
I mean, I love it because I'm an '80s kid, and I used to love the Wonder Years back in the day. And this is like the Wonder Years in the '80s, but it's just funny. I mean, it's not as serious, but it's just funny. I don't know how else to describe it. The mom is just hysterical.
So it's kind of like set in the '80s?
Yeah, it's set in the '80s. And the guy that produced the show, he used to videotape. He had a camcorder. And at the end of every episode, he kind of shows what the episode is about. Like how his mom was crazy or something like that. He'll show a video of her being crazy or whatever stuff. Him back in the day in the 80s, and it's just, I don't know how else to describe it. It's funny.
The Goldbergs. I will check it out.
Yeah, check it out. I had my dad come down a couple weeks ago. I said, just try it. He's like, I don't like this stuff. And then he popped it on. It was like an old sitcom that we would watch, but it's funny.
Okay. All right. Hey, appreciate it, Triple Digit.
My Wizards are 2-0 in the preseason, and we're going undefeated. Well, maybe not undefeated this season, but this year to win.
82-0, huh?
Hell yeah, why not? Gotta shoot for the stars, right?
And you know what, Triple Digit, and thanks for the call. I mean, why not? Why not think the unthinkable can happen as a fan? And that's what fans do, is until the very end, we believe our team has a chance to win every single game. And Triple Digit, thanks for the call, man. That brother has really supported me a lot over the first couple of weeks. Been giving me a call, having some dialogue and discussion. It's very DC, DMV centric, but we really appreciate the love, Triple Digit. 404-382-0338. That's 404-382-0338. From John Marsh, he says, yes, the Goldbergs is crazy. Okay, I got to check out the Goldbergs. So that's two mentions for the Goldbergs in 1 minute's time. Okay, I got to check that out. Then I will set the DVR. And that's the great thing about this day and time is on demand in DVRs. Whereas if you didn't catch a show, in the 80s or the 70s or whatever, when it was on live, you didn't get to see it till it went to syndication. Yes, a big, big difference, man. So you have the luxury now to tape all of these different shows, man, and it's just fantastic. TV and programming, the TV experience has just come a long, long way since 79. It's come a long way, and it's fantastic. And I'll sit up and watch an entire series of shows on a weekend. I will. I did that with True Blood. I did that with, I actually did that with The Sopranos. I watched The Sopranos in 3 weekends. The entire 4 or 5 seasons or whatever it was. Me and my wife sat and watched The Sopranos from beginning to end. And I don't know why I didn't watch The Sopranos when it was on TV. Because I mentioned this yesterday, I'm a huge mob movie guy. I don't know why I didn't watch it at the beginning of the series when it was live. But I went back and watched every episode of The Sopranos. And The Sopranos goes down as my second all-time favorite TV series. Only behind The Wire. I mean, The Sopranos was excellent. Great writing. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff on The Sopranos. So, yeah, we're talking, having a little fun about underrated TV shows, a little conversation from last night's TV on the Doug Stewart Show. Let's grab this call. I think we got Derek from Birmingham. Derek, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What you got?
Hey, what's going on, Square? How you doing?
What's going on, Derek? How you doing, folk?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Hey, I was calling because I was telling you, man, I want to be the BOG over here.
That's what's up now. So if you're just joining the show, I'm putting out a call for BOGGs all over the country, Bogs. And a BOGG is a boots on the ground guy to tell me about the sports scene in that particular city and that team, that state or that city's teams. And so, hey, Derek, I appreciate it. So you want to be my B on the GG guy, ground guy for Birmingham?
Yeah, now I got a caveat with it. I hate the University of Alabama, but I'm gonna have to pay more attention so I can give you that them Alabama tidbit.
So you're an Auburn fan?
Yeah, I'm the one that called you about the October thing with the breast cancer when they were gonna salute the military.
That's right.
Who hit you with that?
I appreciate you. Yeah. So what's up with Auburn and Alabama, man? You looking forward to the Iron Bowl down the road? How many weeks before that happens?
We got like 7 weeks ago. Me and my cousins, we've been trying to get tickets since March. It just sold out since March.
Wow. And yeah, you got two teams. Alabama had the loss on last week, but Auburn's still undefeated. The Iron Bowl right down the road. Both teams in contention. Technically, Alabama still is to make the 4-team playoff. So a lot of football talk in the last couple of years with those two teams in particular. Both teams are like back on top for a long time. Yeah. Alabama was down, man, with Mike Shula as the coach and all of that stuff that was going on those many years. But Alabama has been back on top with Saban, and Auburn won a national championship. So, yeah, I know you guys are hog heaven with Alabama football.
Hey, Dan, one more thing. I know I got to go. I mean, I know you got to get through these calls, but we got to get our Canes back, man. I don't know what they're doing down there in Miami.
Yeah, man, Miami has been struggling, man, and I talked about it yesterday. Thanks for the call, Derek. He's been just appointed as my BOGG guy in Birmingham, Alabama. The state of Alabama going to report on the Alabama Crimson Tide and Auburn Tigers football in particular. But, yeah, people that listen to the two live stews over the last decade know that I'm a Miami Hurricane fan, have been a Hurricane fan ever since the 80s, really. And, you know, it's kind of complicated because if they play a team from South Carolina, I always put South Carolina teams ahead of any other team that I just root for because of whatever situation. I'm a fan of Miami from back in the day, the Miami teams that had all of the trash talking, and mentioned that yesterday, and I'm a fan of Georgetown Hoyas. I always like the rebel-type teams. And if you saw the 30 for 30 on Georgetown, on Hoya Paranoia, maybe that was E60 and Miami, and I've always been a fan of those teams that, you know, were kind of like Floyd Mayweather, you know, very brash and arrogant and tough, but backed it up. And I've always been those fans, and Al Golden just ain't getting it done. He looks so silly on the sideline with that fake-ass Joe Paterno wannabe tie. And it's not cute when you're not winning, Al Golden. It's just not cute. And that's been the case. It's just not cute. Miami is not the Miami of old. All right, when we get back from the break, more of your phone calls. I'll read more of your tweets. Read more of your chat in the chat room on Spreaker. And just do what we do on this Throwback Thursday. Don't go away. Keep it locked. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes!
All meat, no gristle. The Doug Stewart Show.
That's right. All meat, no gristle, no fat, none of that crap. This is the real deal, baby. This is the Doug Stewart Show. All lean meat, beef byproducts. No substitutes. No gristle, fat, none of that. This is the real deal, baby. The Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate the love. If you're a company that's out there that wants to partner with the show, we'd love to partner with you. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And I'll have my sales people. I got sales people. I got producers. This is a team effort that's going on here on the Doug Stewart Show. Yes. Yes. So I'll have someone get in contact with you and we'll work something out and how we can partner up and how I can promote your brand, your company, your product. That's what we're doing around here on the Doug Stewart Show. All right. The number is 404-382. You like that little dramatic music we just came up with just now? That was deep. That was deep, Waterhead Walter. Where did you come up with that from? So 404-382-0338. You still got some time to get in with the call if you like. We've been talking about underrated TV shows, a little sports here and there. Not that many big stories out there to really engage in and talk about. So we've been having fun about, with other things. Here's a text from a chat message on Spreaker.com from Savalas. He says, The Wire was the best gangster series ever. The Sopranos is a very close second. I agree. And I guess it's all based on, what you're familiar with. And even growing up in Little South Carolina, to a much smaller degree, I knew and grew up with a lot of people, just like with the dudes on The Wire. That was based in Baltimore. But, I grew up with a lot of dudes that I could relate to a lot of the characters off The Wire. And so I guess if you grew up somewhere in some little, Passaic, New Jersey or Jersey City, you probably can relate to a lot of guys on The Sopranos, but they're damn near neck and neck. And I just think it's really based on, what you're more familiar with. So, yeah, that could be a debate all day long, which series was better, The Sopranos or The Wire. But both of them, just tremendous shows, written very well. Both of them are just fantastic. And you can go back and watch The Wire again. I watched The Wire actually 2 times around, okay? I watched the Wire for a second time, and when I watched it the second time, okay, on demand, it was even greater than I had thought it was. There were like a lot of subtle things going on in that series that I didn't catch until the second time around. So just fantastic TV. From Vernon Doug, how old is boy from the Ham is not a Bama fan? You need to get Henry Welsh on his ass. He can be a Bama fan, or can be an Auburn fan and not a Bama fan. I think you have to choose when you're in the state of Alabama. I think it's divided among family lines and based on what part of the state you're from. I have no idea what determines if you root for Alabama or Auburn if you're from the state of Alabama. I have no clue at all. But, yeah, my man Fred, what's his name? Derek from Birmingham. He is our BOGG in Birmingham in the state of Alabama. He's going to call and give me what the people are saying on the streets of Alabama about their particular teams, the Alabama Crimson Tide or the Auburn Tigers, all right? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. From Fred, he says, Doug, you like the Barksdale wire or Mario wire more? Ooh, it's not not Mario. Marlo, yes. Ooh, And he's talking about Avon Barksdale or Marlo. And I don't think Marlo ever had a last name on the show. But Marlo came in at like the last 2 seasons. I think he was on there. I think it was like a total of 5 seasons. And Marlo was a very big character in the last 2 years. It was like basically, you've seen this scenario a million times. There's the big dog, and then there's the young kid coming up, and the young kid's trying to take over, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to take real estate, take corners in this case, from the big guy by hook or crook. And so Marlo was that young dude. And yes, I've known Marlos, guys that were young in whatever game it was. And I don't have a lot of direct contact with people in the drug game per se. I don't want to put that out there, but you can use it to any facet, any business or whatever. There's a young guy that's hungry. You can use it in sports. There's like the rookie guy that comes along and he wants to take the veteran's position on defense or whatever. So I've seen that a million times before. But as far as the wire and which character I like the best, between Avon and Marlo, I can't really choose. All right, damn it. I'm gonna say Avon. I'm gonna say Avon because Avon. And no, I can't say Avon. I'm gonna say Marlo. I can't choose. Damn it. Next question. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Both of those characters, and Marlo was so real. Like Marlo was like a dude that didn't say a lot. He whispered at everything, and he was very secretive. And Avon was a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more boisterous. But hood dudes that's in the dirt and grime, they act like Marlo more so than they act like Avon, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got a lot of words. They ain't trying to be out in the spotlight. They're trying to keep quiet and just keep their business to themselves. So Marlo played the hell out of that character. The dude that played Marlo, he was like that typical street dude, okay? Or the dude that was doing something that he probably shouldn't have. And so he was very secretive and very quiet, didn't say a lot of words. So I would say probably Marlo because Marlo played the hell out of that role. And I don't know how established of an actor he is, the dude that played that role. But the dude that played Avon, and I don't know his name was Wood Harris, I believe his name is. But that dude has been in a ton of things, and he's always playing the same role as well. He's kind of like typecast now. But that dude has been in a bunch of things. Wood Harris. I haven't seen the guy that played Marlo in a lot of different things. But yeah, I think if I would have to say who did the better acting job or who they both did tremendous acting jobs, I would slightly take the kid that played Marlo. This is the Doug Stewart Show. What about Senator Clay Davis? He was the man. Yeah, Clay Davis. Yes. And if you watch The Wire, you definitely understand that reference just now. I mean, phenomenal show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. Continue to pass the word on the show. That's huge. I mean, and I keep pumping this fact out there, and I'm going to keep doing it. We're going to make this show the biggest sports talk / entertainment show in the world. Yes. And I ask you this question all the time, too. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Clearly you are, because every day I go on and look at the numbers are better today than they were yesterday. So more people are listening, and I really haven't even promoted it outside of guerrilla marketing, word of mouth. I really haven't bought a lot of ads this place or done any boost on Facebook, anything like that. I'm going to start doing that and grow the audience, and I think when people find out that the show is going on, I think they'll tune in. A lot of people don't even know I'm doing this. A lot of people don't even know that they can get their stews fixed Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. A lot of people don't even know it. Yes. So we're going to get the word out there, and we're going to build this thing. The goal, we passed one goal of 10,000 listens. We did that 12 days. The next goal is 25,000. But the ultimate goal is 1 million listens a day. Yes. And I mean, we got lofty goals, obviously. If we can get 1 million people to tune in, I mean, why not? Isn't there like 3.5 billion people in the world? Something crazy like that? All I want is 1 million. I want more. I'm not trying to limit my my blessing, but a goal is 1 million listens in a day, and I think we can do it. I'm talking about listeners in India and England, Antarctica, any place you can think of. I want the Eskimos to listen to this show and have fun. All right, so pass the word. Shouts out to the Tree of Life, Tree Taylor, aka Tree of Life, in being my #1 producer, Waterhead Walter, Dwayne Bassan, Gerald Oliveri, and all the people that are helping to make this show what it is and continuing to do the damn thing. Shouts out also to all of the people that listen and have been passing the word about the show. I really do appreciate it. We'll do it again tomorrow, same Doug time, same Doug channel. Peace.